Alright, let's dive into something that's been buzzing in the film world lately. And it's not just about the movies themselves, it's about the people behind them. So Jason Sanjay, son of Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and actor Vijay, is stepping into the spotlight with his directorial debut Sigma. But here's the twist. In a recent interview, he didn't just talk about his own project or his dad's latest film, Jana Nayagan. Instead, he went all in on praising KGF, Prashanth Neel's blockbuster action franchise. And honestly, this is where things get really interesting. First off, let's talk about why Jason's choice is such a big deal. KGF isn't just another action film. It's a cultural phenomenon that redefined the genre in Indian cinema. Jason called it glorified action, and I think that's spot on. What makes this really interesting is how he highlighted its raw, unapologetic tone. He said, "They were loyal to the genre, and that's a detail I find fascinating." In an era where films often try to appeal to everyone, KGF doubled down on its identity, and that's what made it stand out. Personally, I think this loyalty to the genre is something filmmakers should take notes on. It's not about playing it safe. It's about owning your vision. Now let's step back for a second. Jason Sanjay is the son of Vijay, one of the biggest names in Tamil cinema. His dad's film, Jana Nayagan, was releasing around the same time as Jason's Sigma was supposed to. But instead of riding his dad's coattails or even promoting his own film, Jason chose to talk about KGF. In my opinion, this says a lot about his mindset. It's like he's carving his own path, not just as a filmmaker, but as someone who respects and admires cinema beyond his immediate circle. What this really suggests is that he's not here to be a carbon copy of his dad. He's here to bring something fresh. Speaking of Sigma, the film's postponement has been a hot topic. Originally slated for July 31st, it got pushed back, reportedly due to Jana Nayagan's release. But here's where it gets intriguing. Sigma is a heist film with quirky characters on a dangerous quest. Jason studied filmmaking in the US, and this project feels like his way of blending international influences with Indian storytelling. One thing that immediately stands out is his ambition. Debuting with a heist film? That's bold. Heist films are tricky, they need tight scripts, sharp direction, and a lot of energy. If he pulls it off, it could be a game changer for him. Now let's talk about Jana Nayagan for a second. The film had its own share of drama, from CBFC delays to cuts over political references. It opened to mixed reviews but still raked in over 300 Indian rupees crore worldwide. What many people don't realize is that despite the controversies, the film's success shows Vijay's star power. But here's the thing. Jason didn't even mention it as his favorite. Instead, he went for KGF. This raises a deeper question. Is he subtly distancing himself from his dad's legacy? Or is he just being honest about his tastes? Personally, I think it's a bit of both. If you take a step back and think about it, this whole situation is a microcosm of the larger trends in Indian cinema. On one hand, you have established stars like Vijay, whose films are guaranteed crowd pullers. On the other, you have newcomers like Jason Sanjay who are trying to break the mold. And then there's KGF, which proved that regional cinema can go pan-India with the right vision. What this really suggests is that the industry is at a crossroads: tradition versus innovation, legacy versus individuality. In my opinion, Jason's admiration for KGF isn't just about the film itself. It's about what it represents. It's about taking risks, staying true to your vision, and creating something that resonates beyond regional boundaries. And that's exactly what he seems to be aiming for with Sigma. Whether he succeeds or not remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure. He's not playing it safe. So here's my closing thought. In an industry where nepotism is often the norm, Jason Sanjay's approach feels refreshingly different. He's not leaning on his dad's name. He's leaning on his own tastes, his own vision, and his own ambition. And that, in itself, is worth watching. Will Sigma live up to the hype? Will he carve out a space for himself in an industry dominated by his dad's legacy? Only time will tell. But one thing's certain, this is a story I'll be keeping an eye on. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.